This is the Kia EV6. It's Kia's first dedicated electric vehicle. Is it worth the money? Let's find out. The push for electrification is going to go into high gear this year in the Philippines. We have a number of hybrids and EVs coming out this year. Charging stations are becoming more and more abundant. And with the recently introduced zero tariff policy on EVs, prices are inevitably going to go down. The Kia EV6 is due to launch later this year, and it's Kia's first entry into this segment here in the Philippines. Now, thanks to Kia Philippines, we got an early look at the car, and we also got to drive it. In this video, we're going to talk about our initial impressions of the car. The EV6 is based on the eGMP platform, which it shares with the Hyundai Ioniq. Compared to the Ioniq, I think this definitely looks more aggressive, especially in this matte gray color called Moonscape. So it's classified as a crossover, but you have a low and sloping roofline, and the ground clearance is only 160 millimeters. So it kind of looks like an exotic hatchback. This is the GT line, which comes standard with 20-inch wheels, wrapped in 255/45 Continental tires. The GT line comes with a 77 kilowatt-hour battery, which is good for 528 kilometers of range. The motor has an output of 229 horsepower and 350 Newton meters of torque. Now, from this perspective, you really do get to appreciate its unusual proportions. Its profile reminds me of a softer Lamborghini Urus, with its steeply raked windshield, rear window, and its low and sloping roofline. The huge 20-inch wheels are pushed out to the corners of the vehicle. It has very prominent fender bulges, and you have short front and rear overhangs. The angles are sharp, but very well thought out. They don't just pop out of nowhere. I like the line that starts at the rocker panel and swoops up to connect with the taillight. I think it's a very nice touch. So here are the dimensions of the Kia EV6. Now, it's not obvious on camera, but it's actually a pretty big car. It's longer and wider than the CR-V. The wheelbase is 2,900 millimeters. Now, to put that number into perspective, that's exactly the same wheelbase as the massive Ford Everest. Now, that long wheelbase translates to more interior space and also more space for the batteries underneath the flooring. Oh, you know, I'm gonna die of heat stroke, dude. Okay, the back. Let's talk about the back. I mean, just look at it. It looks like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. There's just no angle of the car that looks boring. So from this angle, you can clearly see the wide rear haunches. The wheels fill the wheel wells almost entirely. There's very little fender gap, and the fitment is almost flush. It looks like an exotic Italian supercar. Or a spaceship. The EV6 comes with a power liftgate. So in here you get 520 liters of cargo space. Cargo space is deep and wide, but it's not very tall thanks to the low roofline and the raked rear window. Still, 520 liters of cargo space is a lot of space for cargo. If that's not enough storage for you, the EV6 has additional storage options. Underneath what looks like an engine cover is a frunk, or a front trunk. Kia upped their lighting game on the EV6. This is one of the most eye-catching taillights that I've seen on a car. You have this light arch at the top, and you have your signal lamps at the bottom. The lighting situation is just as impressive at the front, with the sharp LED headlamps with automatic high beam. The EV6 supports AC charging and also faster DC charging. It comes with a Type 2 CCS port, which is compatible with the AC chargers that you find in malls, and also the DC chargers that you find in gas stations. By the way, charging at SM and Ayala malls is free, so if you live near such a mall, you can have plenty of free kilometers. The EV6 GT line has a battery capacity of 77.4 kilowatt hours and an estimated range of 528 kilometers. So that's an average of 6.82 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is pretty good compared to other EVs available in the Philippines. Of course, that range will vary depending on your driving habits and traffic conditions. The lithium-ion battery is liquid-cooled, which should help improve its performance and also lengthen its life. Now, as for the charging time, if you charge at home using the included mobile charger, it'll take more than a day to charge to 100%. If you use a 50 kilowatt DC charger, you can charge from 10 to 80% in 73 minutes. With a 350 kilowatt DC charger, you can charge in 18 minutes. The vehicle supports V2L or vehicle to load, which allows you to power external devices or appliances using the battery of the car. Aside from fuel savings, you can also save on PMS costs with the EV6. The maintenance cost of an EV is much lower than a regular car, as you don't have a lot of moving parts. You only have to replace consumables like brake pads, which you don't even have to replace very often, thanks to the vehicle's regenerative braking. Kia estimates the maintenance cost of the EV6 to be just 24,000 over a period of 5 years, which translates to just 2,000 pesos a year. Kia gave the EV6 an interior that is deserving of its very futuristic looking exterior. So this interior looks modern, it looks premium. A lot of this is made of recycled materials, like this plastic over here is made of recycled material, also that. I believe the fabrics on the seats as well. So this is what Kia calls vegetarian leather. So that probably means that no cows were killed to produce this. Yeah, this is also covered in the same material, also this and also this. The seats are covered in a mix of leather and this velour material. Both front seats are heated and cooled. And you also get this floating headrest over here. The EV6 comes with a sunroof. It is not panoramic. It is only for the people at the front. I like this floating center console over here. So at the bottom you have plenty of storage. You also have an abundance of USB ports here. You have one USB-A port, one USB-C port, one USB-C port down here, and one 12-volt outlet. So on the center console you have your shifter, which is a knob. You also have your start-stop button over here, and you have a wireless phone charger. You have two cup holders over here. Underneath the armrest you have ample storage. By the way, you have paddle shifters here, and you might wonder, why do you need paddle shifters if you don't have gears? These are for adjusting your regenerative braking, which I'll talk about later. You also have this ambient lighting over here, which is actually visible even in daytime. You have these two 12-inch screens right next to each other. So it looks like you have one very wide screen in front of you. So this is your infotainment screen. It has Apple CarPlay, it has Android Auto. You also have a 360 camera. So you can see it's very clear, the resolution is very good. You also have a 3D function, so you can rotate it, and as you can see, it is very smooth. There's no stuttering. In terms of storage, you have a very spacious glove box. So aside from this part over here, you also have that is actually very deep. Look at that. You have dual zone climate control, and you get knobs for adjusting your temperature. All the other buttons are capacitive. Yeah, so it's a very nice looking interior. It's very spacious. You have plenty of space for your legs. It does have a pretty low roofline though, so I mean, my headroom is okay here, but if I lean forward, my head hits this part over here. Anyway, let's check out the back seat. Space here at the back seat is very generous. You don't have a center tunnel. The flooring is completely flat, so you have plenty of room for your feet. Legroom is also very good. The front seat is adjusted to my height, and I have almost a foot of legroom. Your air vents are over here. You also got a center armrest. You also got a center armrest with two cup holders. You have USB-C ports over here and also over here. And headroom is also not bad. I have about 3 inches of headroom. I'm 5'8". Okay, let's do another one. Okay, that may not seem so obvious on camera, but that actually felt pretty quick. Acceleration on an EV feels different from regular cars. Unlike internal combustion engines, the torque is instantaneous. So as soon as you step on the gas pedal or the accelerator, it just moves right away. You don't have to wait for the power band. The power is nowhere near as shocking as the BMW iX, which we reviewed a couple of months ago. But if you haven't driven an EV yet, I think this will give you a pleasant surprise. The EV6 GT line has a single electric motor, which drives the rear wheels. 0 to 100 can be done in 7.3 seconds. In other markets, they have a more powerful variant with over 500 horsepower and a 0 to 100 time of 3.2 seconds. So this gets full ADAS, you get adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, you get this blind spot camera. So when you activate your turn signal, you can see what's in your blind spot over here. Now you have paddle shifters over here, but of course you don't have gears. They're actually for adjusting your regenerative braking. So currently we're at level 1. Let's put it in level 3. So at level 3 you get more regenerative braking. So if I let go of the gas, it slows down a lot more. There is no learning curve when it comes to the driving experience. It is like driving a regular car, but a bit more punchy when you stab the throttle, a lot more quiet, and a bit more attention grabbing. I've lost count of how many people looked at the car in the one day that we drove it. Now, we didn't get to drive it out of the city. In the future, hopefully we can take it out of the city and do a full in-depth review. Kia made the EV6 look and feel really special. So even if you don't care about the environment, and even if you have so much money that you don't care about fuel economy, it will still draw you in because it is so different and it looks very desirable. The EV6 will launch in the very near future, perhaps as early as next month. As of now though, we don't have the pricing yet. With the recently passed VIDA law, we're hoping that the price will be as attractive as the car itself.